This reading comes courtesy of Respect Your Legacy books. This extract is taken from I Write What I Like by Steve Biko. The definition of Black consciousness. We have in our policy manifesto defined Blacks as those who are by law or tradition politically, economically, and socially discriminated against as a group in the South African society, and identifying themselves as a unit in the struggle towards the realization of their aspirations. This definition illustrates to us a number of things. 1. Being Black is not a matter of pigmentation. Being Black is a reflection of a mental attitude. 2. Merely by describing yourself as Black, you have started on a road towards emancipation. You have committed yourself to fight against all forces that seek to use your Blackness as a stamp that marks you out as a subservient being. From the above observations, therefore, we can see that the term Black is not necessarily all-inclusive, i.e., the fact we are all not, while does not necessarily mean that we are all Black. Non-whites do exist, and will continue to exist, and will continue to exist for quite a long time. If one's aspiration is whiteness, but his pigmentation makes attainment of this impossible, then that person is a non-white. Any man who calls a white man boss, any man who serves in the police force or security branch is ipso facto a non-white. Black people, real Black people, are those who can manage to hold their heads high in defiance rather than willingly surrender their souls to the white man. Briefly defined, therefore, Black consciousness is in essence the realization by the Black man of the need to rally together with his brothers around the cause of their operation, the blackness of their skin, and to operate as a group in order to rid themselves of the shackles that bind them to perpetual servitude. It seeks to demonstrate the lie that Black is an aberration from the normal, which is white. It is a manifestation of a new realization that by seeking to run away from themselves and to emulate the white man, Blacks are insulting the intelligence of whoever created them Black. Black consciousness, therefore, takes cognizance of the deliberateness of God's plan in creating Black people Black. It seeks to infuse the Black community with a newfound pride in themselves, their efforts, their value systems, their culture, their religion, and their outlook to life. The interrelationship between the consciousness of the self and the emancipatory program is of paramount importance. Blacks no longer seek to reform the system because so doing implies acceptance of the major points around which the system revolves. Blacks are out to completely transform the system and to make of it what they wish. Such a major undertaking can only be realized in an atmosphere where people are convinced of the truth inherent in their stand. Liberation, therefore, is of paramount importance in the concept of Black consciousness, for we cannot be conscious of ourselves and yet remain in bondage. We want to attain the envisioned self, which is a free self. The surge towards Black consciousness is a phenomenon that has manifested itself throughout the so-called Third World. There is no doubt that discrimination against the Black man the world over fetches its origin from the exploitative attitude of the white man. Colonization of white countries by whites has throughout history resulted in nothing more sinister than mere cultural or geographical fusion at worst, or language bastardization at best. It is true that the history of weaker nations is shaped by bigger nations, but nowhere in the world today do we see whites exploiting whites on a scale even remotely similar to what is happening in South Africa. Hence, one is forced to conclude that it is not coincidence that Black people are exploited. It was a deliberate plan which has culminated in even so-called Black independent countries not attaining any real independence.